Okay, let's go. We got a video for the latest from ThieAudio. It is a quadbrid. It's called the Origin. If you are subscribed to my channel, go ahead and comment below and you can get a, not the Origin, but the Evangelion by Hibi, the R4, that has an insane GUI. I think it's dope and it's supposed to be even more impressive, so I'm waiting for final firmware update. I will do a review for it. I'm already a fan of it. I like the whole thing is just a kind of a cool experience. So I'm kind of tipping my hand to how that's going to go, and I haven't even seen the final all things unlocked firmware. But that will go to somebody that comments below and is a subscriber and supports my channel. Give the video a thumbs up if you actually like the video, because that helps with engagement as well. So thank you guys, and thank you for your support. Thank you to Hibi for sending that out. I'm going to be forwarding that to somebody else. I'm not going to get any money for it. I'm just going to send it and pay for shipping, just for the record, Joe. But back to this set. This is ThieA's first foray into quadbrid territory. It is a tribrid like you're familiar with, the dynamic driver, balanced armatures, the ESTs from Sonian, and they're throwing in the bone conduction driver, which is something that Empire Ears, like I showed, and let me show that one more time just to give you context. I think this was quite expensive. And Unique Melody, these are things that, you know, 2,500 to 35 to 4 in this type of configuration was being asked for. So even though this is, you know, $850, it's still $350 more affordable than the Prestige LTD, and it's a lot more affordable than the offerings from Unique Melody that were essentially using very similar drivers, if not pretty much identical, as well as Empire Ears. So even at the top end, this stuff is trickling down to being sub 1K. So there's that, and I think the cable that they're using on this, which is like the Venom Liquid Links, is the best that ThieA's offered so far. So this whole thing just grabs me. I love the way it plays back my library. Speaking of, let's go ahead and talk about music. In low end, the 808 roll-in type drops, Big Boy Killjoy, the lowest being at 38 Hertz. It's got significant force and energy, which I'm expecting. Stuff from Wu-Tang Clan, Kendrick Lamar, Tupac has the same energy. Ghetto Boys, stuff that I'm expecting. I was more than impressed with it. As we get into something a little bit more complex, which would be a 4 and 5 string bass guitar, because that really requires or is impacted by more than the low frequency to mids. It's really all the way up to the upper mids and treble that really can impact the pulls, the plucks, the releases, the ringing of the strings, the snapping. All of that is related to the entire frequency response. I think that this sounds really good. I like the way it replays that instrument, with a couple tracks being Please Do Not Go by the Violent Femmes and Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing, among others. The 598 EP by Metallica's got a lot of great bass lines in it as well, and I thought this sounded quite good doing that. Bottom's iconic kick drum, boom, 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 sounded great, sounded energetic. It's from the 4th album by Led Zeppelin, and it's an iconic intro, and it sounds like it's supposed to this reviewer's ear, which is emphatic. It does that well. As we move into the mids, which this reviewer really refers to vocals when I'm talking about that, the mid bass and the ear gain are really critical to how vocals are replayed to me, or how they sound. They can sound husked up, female vocals, with too much mid bass, and they can sound too much forward or too forward, depending on the air gains, abruptness, and the amplitude of that. So the two bookends that we've got, and then the mid sitting right in the middle, vocals are really what do it. Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Nina doing the cover of Blondie's Heart of Glass. I think they all sounded really good. I liked them a lot. If you are a female dominant library, then that would be different from what I'm talking about. I listened to several female vocalists, a lot of them really in R&B, but a few of them in rock and others. But some people seem to have a female dominant library. This wouldn't be me, so their takes might be slightly different. I think it does vocals great. The harmonics are not overly stated. They're not in my face like the set that I just reviewed, which is the IO set. Thought that was a little bit unnatural to this person's ear. That might be the BA being completely open without any kind of filter over that. Like needs a little bit of dampening, but I'll leave that there. This doesn't do that, so I think vocals sound good on this. As we get into harmonics, which is the fundamentals are the event, the stick striking the ride, the finger plucking on the string, and the energy and the noise that creates, which is really 90% of what you hear, is harmonics and overtones. And that gets into a range where we get a lot of people's weak point, where it might be 4.5 to 6.5 to 8 kilohertz, where it's just an unforgiving, can't accept that type of thing, is up there. Keyboards, pianos, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, with or without distortion pedals, the rides and the crashes, part of the drum kit, vocals and their harmonics. This is really an area that shuts me down faster than anything else. I think that this does that well. It does stuff like the Greatest Hits album by ELO, which is just filled with stuff that can get on your nerves quickly. As I'm talking mostly about keyboards, even vocals there. The loudness wars doesn't apply to this album, but it sure sounds loud as hell. This set sounds fine with, but that set really, that album, if you're a fan of ELO, maybe you start listening to that, because the production is good, and man, there's a lot of stuff going on after 3 kilohertz. I mean, like every track in that. This does that well. There's not a clear weak point for it. But again, the weak point is the reviewer, and that is my lack of female vocals, or a lot of them. So consider that. If you're really, really into that, you might want to listen to somebody that's talking about a library that's more like yours than what mine is. Putting this up on the scale, is it a dumpster fire? No, absolutely not. Hope it was free. For somebody that comments below this video, I'm just kidding, it'll be the Heavy Evangelion, but I'm telling you, wait till you see the review. That's a really, really, really dope little dap right there. Coping is working. Nope. No. Competes with its peers. I'd say yes, because the unique melodies and the Empire ears of 2 years ago were basically the same configurations with the same type of shells with cables that were arguably inferior to this cable, and priced double this or more than that. So yeah, it does compete with its peers. I'd buy it. I'm sorry, I don't have a script. I'm actually considering this as I look at it. I just bought the Duality, which is $3,000, and it's 2 dynamic drivers, and it's being said to be quite a beast, which I'm looking forward to. So if I do that for 2 DDs, I would buy this. I would spend my money on this. And there's also that cute, that this is my favorite ThieAudio up to date, but it actually is. And I'll give a ranking of my top 5 Thies, because there's so many of them now. I'm happy to see the company grow. I'm happy that I was there at the beginning. I'm unhappy that I said that the original Voyager and the next one was good, and then the next one was better, because as the company grew, I was reviewing each set, and of course they were getting better because they were tuning better and they were including more drivers. So this history with me and Thie is long and interesting. It's what happens when a reviewer is tied to a seller and they have an in-house brand, and you grow with them. Hopefully it gets better as it goes up in price and configuration, and I think Thie has really done that. I think it's a great job. I hope that in the future they explore using the Sonian, the one that's in the camper, BCDs, if they can get that into a set and maybe have a quadbrid wing, like they've got several tribrids. Maybe when they start doing the quadbrids, they might consider using those, because they seem to be in the mid bass more than these that are typical to the Mest, which is excellent, which is doing more upper mid stuff. So I'd buy it. Going to shamelessly hype it, I'll leave it at I'd buy it, because I don't know what's coming out between now and 11/11, but I might end up shamelessly hyping, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it with I'll buy it around right there as my ranking. You guys have a great week. I'll probably see you in a couple days. I'm going to be doing a video for a very expensive set called the First Light. I'm going to time that right about when they're going to Can Jam. They've sent me a $7,000 IM, which I appreciate the trust, and I'm going to give it a thorough evaluation using my library and post it right about the time when the Can Jam is going. So that'll be, I don't know, Friday or Saturday. So I'll see you guys then. Have an excellent week, and bye-bye heat. Finally, kind of. And I'm out.